when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. You gotta sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You gotta sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. Sing, sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go.
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Sing When You're Winning, a fantasy football league oddity podcast featuring distant cousins of podcast royalty and a very special guest this week who we will reveal very, very shortly. But waiting in line for the podcast throne again this week, it's myself, Jamie, we've got Steve, we've got Lee, and we've got Jersey Chris, who is back this week. Everyone this week, introduce yourselves, name of your team, and in honor of our special guest, what's your best magic trick? Or if you haven't got a magic trick, what's your best party trick? What's the thing that you're famous for doing? I'm sure some of you have got that kind of stuff. You're not all shy, quiet types.
Not shy, but you don't need a gimmick, do you?
I mean, when you're younger, you must have had a party trick or something at some point. I mean, mine's pretty shit, to be fair.
I imagine it is.
You start, Jamie. Go on.
No, it's a really shit thing.
Come on, Jamie, you've got one. Let's go there. Let's go.
It's rubbish. Every year, and it is rubbish, I'm warning you. Every year when I started work, these boring work not dudes, but during the day when they bring food and crap like that in. How many Pringles can you fit in your mouth in one go? And I upped it by one every year. And my current one is 37 Pringles in one go in my mouth.
That's impressive.
What
flavour?
Bready salt is the best, but it does rip the insides of your mouth out. If you do salt and vinegar, it's a little bit harsh. But yeah.
Hold on. Your party trick was putting Pringles in your mouth. Am I right?
37, yeah. It was just, didn't start out intentionally that way. We just upped it every year and it became mildly interesting.
I think, to be honest, right, I think that's how Bonnie Blue started out with Pringles. And now she's doing something else. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know this Friday morning. Excellent.
God, is this the path you're on, Jamie?
I mean, who knows? Do you know what I mean?
He's teed me up perfectly there.
Brilliant.
Where do we sign up, Jamie?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. And yes, that's our guest coming in early. We'll
coming in. Here we go.
Great. There we go. I can tell where this is going to go this Friday morning. Very good.
That's what
I'll put
she
the
said.
E on now, shall I? I'll put the E on now. It's all good. All good. Anyone else with a better party trick than that? I mean, it's not that good, to be fair.
No,
Yeah,
not
I've
really.
got 38 Pringles in my mouth.
Yeah, let's have a Pringle off.
I think we should have a Pringle off. End of season.
Seriously, next time you're bored at a works thing,
Prawn cocktail.
Get the Pringles out, count them, and it's harder than it looks. Anyway, anyone else?
Well, I used to go back to after parties, having been on loads of stag do's, and for some reason, I used to put on girls' high heels.
Oh my God! Where is this episode going?
Yeah. Remember
That is how Bonnie Blue started out. Go on.
Do you remember Soccer AM? And you had the catwalk. So
The Soccerette,
kind of do the catwalk in the high heels and do a slap drop in them, and then just walk.
What is this?
I used to be quite good at it.
That's not a party trick, mate. It's not a party trick.
That's what you do every weekend.
The other week you're in a cheerleader's outfit. I'm starting to get concerned.
I know. What goes on in Jersey?
Everything.
Amazing. Any other revelations?
No,
Don't know, but this hasn't gone the way you wanted, has it, Jamie?
It hasn't. It
No,
wasn't. I
definitely not.
thought someone might get some cards out and go, well, I can do this. Pick a card, but no. That would be far too simple.
I dread to think what Lee's going to come out with.
Yeah, go on, Lee.
absolutely nothing at all. Really boring. I used to be able to down a tube of Smarties in like a second, and that was it. But
And the
I
tube.
used to be able, yeah, well, not the tube as well. Now I'm not Bonnie Blue, you know.
But you'd be like, yeah, amazing. Was that a child's party trick though? You used to do that kids party, like your own when you were a child, of course.
This is like when I was 18.
Oh.
Like, Because otherwise, it's a choking hazard, and you got to be careful. You shouldn't do that sort of thing at home, should
Fair
you?
enough. Fair enough. And Steve, save us from this random feature.
No, I'll just use the immortal words. Let's move on.
Yes, let's move swiftly on, as we like to say, and introduce our special guest. This week's special guest, we always look on X to see how they describe themselves, and he describes himself as rock and roll's favourite magician, as seen on TV, toured with Paul Weller, the Libertines, Pete Doherty, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, and he's a Magic Circle member. So very exciting stuff. Let's give a very warm Sing When You're Winning podcast welcome to our special guest, Magic Mod Ben Taylor.
Thank you. I just realised I should have been quiet until you introduced me,
it's
and there's
good.
me
We
chucking all sorts out the bag.
participation. Basically, there was something there that you couldn't leave alone. I liked that.
No,
It was like-
it could. If I didn't say that, I would have been gutted, to be perfectly honest with you. So I'm quite glad that I brought something to the table, and it just
it's all
started
about
all sorts
timing.
of
It's all
carnage.
about timing.
Oh,
But we'd have lost the timing. But yes, it seems a stupid question to ask you, but what's your favorite magic or party trick? Did you start out doing party tricks and then it became you
No,
thought, oh, I can do magic?
I never. No, not at all, mate. Not at all. It's similar to most magicians how they started out. To be honest, right? It started with a Paul Daniels magic set. Now, not every magician would have had a Paul Daniels one, of course, and would have had other sort of magicians. But for me, it was a Paul Daniels one, and it just that was it. It's something that I've never really looked back on and thought, well, that was a waste of time, because every year something else happens which makes the last year even better. And it's incredible, really. How far a deck of cards can take you. I did it was over in Belfast or Northern Ireland, whatever. They did a comic. It was like a Magic Con, which is like a convention and of magic. Now the biggest one is Blackpool Magic Convention, and I'm still yet to go there. But they had one in Belfast, and the acts that they had on the lineup were fantastic. And they asked me to do a headline show on a Friday, and that's just perfect. But let me tell you something now. It's very daunting as well, because you're performing in front of magicians who a lot of them know exactly what tricks you're doing, exactly what pattern you'll use. So I just completely caught them off guard with stuff that they thought I was going to say what a magician would say, but I didn't. I'd say the opposite, and they loved it. And there was normal people in there, like punters in there, who weren't magicians, and they were wondering why the magicians were laughing at that sort of it. They're like, "Oh, this isn't really funny," but the magicians got why it was funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was a weird one, but I loved it. It's like one side of the room was all magicians, right? And then the other side of the room was all just non-magicians, which is very fitting in Belfast, if you know what I mean. One side and another side. But it was a classic, and it just worked perfectly. And I'm grateful that I've been given the opportunity to do them sort of things.
No, absolutely. It must be amazing that we always say to people who do something they love doing for a living. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't get much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, definitely not, man. I don't class it as a job, because it isn't, because it's something I love to do. And that's not to say people who have a job that they don't love and all that. It's just like I just love everything about magic, and that's the truth of it. Like I literally do live magic.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well, we're going to come on to chat a little bit more about that in a moment. But first, we're here to talk about your fantasy team. So we've got your stats, your fantasy league stats, which I'm sure you will love us to share on the pod this Friday morning. But yes, Statman Steve's said there's no history for you. Normally we check and we're able to see a team's history, but in Steve's words, it's magically vanished. So we don't know what it's done. The evidence is hidden.
Probably for the best, mate, to be honest with you.
Maybe. But Steve's looked and he said it's a second season in Sing When You're Winning. You finished bottom of League One last year with 24 points, but there was no relegation. Although with restructuring and the introduction of the Conference League, you were unfortunately demoted, but then you won a tombola draw back into League One after another club folded. But You've taken no advantage from that, apparently, and you're bottom of League One again, and you're already relegated, unfortunately. But you have got 7 points more than you finished with last season. So I think,
Listen, it's consistent. It's
It
consistent.
is. Well, it's
You know, that's
better.
the key.
It can only get better.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's have it right. I still had Mitrovic in the team for half the season last year, didn't I? And he weren't even with us.
You've beat me
You know what I mean? He was in Saudi Arabia, mate, and I was like, listen, he might come back.
Yeah.
But who have I don't know. Do you know what it is, right? It's I play about with it. Wrong choice of words. I mess about with the fantasy team every now and then, right? And for some reason, after I've changed the team, it's kicked me out and it's left me with the team I had in the first place. And I'm one of them people. I'm like, listen, I'll leave it as it is then, because that's probably telling me just to leave the team.
Yeah.
Something will happen. Have you got my team in front of you?
We can get it in front of
we
us.
can sort it.
Who have I got in goal? Bert Leno, in I?
You have got, I've just had a look. You've got Leno in goal.
Yeah.
You've got Robinson, Dunk, Digne, and N. Williams at the back. I can't remember his
So
first name.
why
Nico
Nico Williams, isn't it? From Nottingham Forest, yeah.
Nottingham Forest, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Fairly
So I've
solid.
got him because he was brilliant for us on loan, right?
Mhm.
And then he went away. I've got Anthony Robinson because he's got the most assists from a
He's been scoring all right, hasn't he?
defender, I think. He's been good. But the only thing is, that geezer cannot cross a ball to save his life. And that's the truth. Like, you may go, listen, wait for it. You may go, but he's got all these assists, Ben. Yes, but watch him try and cross the ball. Like, I think my 3-year-old could do better than that. And I'll get him out here and I'll show you. I've got a few balls in the back garden. I'll go in goal and you watch him swizz one in, mate. He's unreal. And that is my pension right there when he plays for Fulham. But Dunk, I don't know why I chose Dunk, to be honest. I know Fulham were after him again, and I just thought he's one of them players that he's normally consistent for Brighton, but I don't. Do you know who my best player is of the season?
Well, you've got Salah in, so it must be him, and Isak as well. I mean, your team's not bad. I'm just looking at it.
No,
I
don't know
still
what
got
I've done
Kyle
wrong.
Walker though. Kyle Walker's probably one to get rid of.
He's playing for me.
Yeah, he's on your bench, admittedly, but
He's your Mitrovic for this season.
but you've got Palmer there, you've got Bruno Guimaraes, you've got Rice, you've got Watkins. Yeah, it's not bad. And you've got Enzo
You've got a
on
sound
the
team
bench as well. Yeah, exactly.
It's all right, isn't it? I just wish I knew what I could do with it.
Yeah. Have you used your chips though? Are you playing with your chips properly?
I don't know, mate. I mean, I'm going to start the season. I'm going to have a good pre-season, right? And I'm going to invest in some good players, some really good players. I've got my eye on a few players at the moment, and we'll see. To be honest, I ain't going to tell you who I've got my eye on. So I'll probably end up in Saudi Arabia next season or League Two. So.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I'm surprised I ain't got Willian on my team, to be honest with you. And he's one of the oldest players in the Premier League, but he still puts a shift out.
Yeah, but that team looks all right. I
don't know what I've done wrong then. Do you know what it is? Like, you lads are seasoned pros, and you know what you're doing there. And then you get a wild card like me, and you go, "Oh yes, this is brilliant. We're not going to finish bottom now. Someone else's go." That's why you flung me in. Just admit it.
There's a few on this panel who are not having their best season.
Not having great seasons.
Yeah, but are they bottom? So,
not quite.
No.
But yeah.
Do I win anything? Do I get like a trophy for being like twice at the bottom?
Wooden spoon.
No, it's not even worth giving you my address for that, is it?
For next season, keep the interest going for those near the bottom. We could do that.
But you might have found your level next season because there's a few teams that are struggling there with the points.
Yeah, I'm gutted.
All the good teams are getting out of there. There's quite a few good teams in that bottom division.
Yeah, so
I generally thought, I already had it in my head. If like last game of the season or the last week of the season, if I needed to stay up by a few points, I was going to put a suit on and make a big day of it. Laptop up, watching everyone go in and go, yep, he's in my side. 3 points, 4 points, whatever. But it ain't happening. So hopefully I might still do it, to be honest. I'll send you a photo.
Yeah. Well,
Do
get
it.
yourself to York. They're having the last game of the season doing York, I think.
When is it? That's
2 weeks
yeah.
time.
Oh yeah, it's a Sunday as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks on
Yeah,
Sunday.
bank holiday, yeah.
4:00, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've not made any transfers, Ben, by the look of it, apart from one 3rd of January. You made some New Year's transfers, and that's it. That's all you've done all season. So that's probably New Year's
I am the
resolution.
Tony-
was it?
window was open.
Let me tell you, I am the Tony Khan of fantasy football because he don't really like putting his hand in his pocket unless it's a loan. So I don't know what's going on there, mate. Is there like, do you remember them books? It's like an idiot's guide to fantasy football or something like that. I need one of them.
Yeah, we could write one. I mean, just
Oh no, that's simply you played your triple captain in game week 1,
Go on.
balls.
Smart
Go on.
genius.
and your wild card was 3rd of January, so that was changed. So you played one wild card and a triple captain in week 1. That's pretty impressive.
Brilliant.
Week 1, you must have won that one, surely, unless it was Mitrovic captain.
I think it was Bert Leno, wasn't it? I don't think there's no way of telling, is there? But I'm sure it was Leno.
Probably, yeah.
So you haven't played your ass man. You've got 3 games to go. You've got to play your ass man this weekend.
I'm bottom of the league, mate.
Roll the dice. Just pick a manager.
He's already
There's
gone.
nothing you can tell me. There's nothing that you can tell. It's a bit like telling someone who's sinking on the Titanic, did you know there's life jackets? It's too late now, mate. No point doing it, is there?
Fair enough. But next season, these are things you can imagine. The person on the Titanic's got a second chance at life. Then we're saying, yeah.
Listen, they are noticeable by their absence, aren't they?
Yeah. Interesting. Yes.
Chris
Absolutely.
is going to join us, by the way, Jamie.
Sorry?
Chris is coming on shortly.
He's on his way. Okay. Cool. Good stuff. Right. Should we have a quick look at the league, the game week that's just finished? Should we have a quick look
yes,
down the
perhaps.
leagues, see if there's any
Friday
more
morning.
wins? Yes.
Can do in the Premier League then. The highest score was from Tom Roberts. He got not very high scores this week, actually. 64, and he beat Ben Shires, who got 31, and his fellow title chaser Tom Bird got 63, which unfortunately was against me, and I only got 38. Dan ruined Leon's title hopes. He beat him 52-44, but boosted his relegation hopes as all his rivals. Faris lost to Chris Payne, who's about to join us.
Yeah.
John Gregory lost by 4 points to Mark Horseman, and Michelle Gale lost by 1 point to Chris Dawkes. So she didn't need that. Title-wise, Paul Chambers-Tonner is still top, 69 points. Second is Alistair Bruce Ball, 66 points. Then Eds Chester's 66 points, and Tom Bird 65. So they're the only 4 that can really win it now.
Mm-hmm.
And the relegation zone, realistically, it's between 4 now. Dan has 35 points. Faris Badwan has 33 points. Michelle Gale has 31 points. And John Gregory has 30 points. Dan is playing John this week. If Dan wins that, and well, John would be relegated, and if Michelle loses, she will be relegated as well. So she'll then have to rejoin the WhatsApp group that she hastily left at the end of last season.
We'll give her a nice big welcome in the Championship.
Let's see how quickly she leaves the Premier League one.
Yeah, exactly.
Championship-wise, the highest there was only 61 for Tom Gregory, who beat an already relegated Jonas, who got 59. It's probably Jonas's best week of the season. 60 for Rich Lay in his relegation clash with Alistair Griffin. Won him his game. Lee, you beat Henry. Jamie, you lost versus Andrew Clancy.
Thanks to Everton. They were 2-0 up. Ass man. Not happy.
Kind of doesn't help your promotion bid, does it?
Well, I was going for 7 in a row. That was never going to happen, was it? Anyway.
Yeah. And Dave Atkins was delighted to beat Carl in his game down at the bottom. He was one of the only ones down there to win. So promotion-wise, Jim still not quite got. He's promoted finally, but he's got 76. Tim Ward's got 69. The playoffs are Tom Gregory with 65, Stu Dunn 64, Phil Pinder 63. Bit of a gap, so you probably won't catch them now. You, Jamie, 57 points, and then there's Andrew Clancy on 57 points, Cole Jenkins on 57 points, and Henry on 56 points. So it's probably that last place you're going for there, Jamie.
Fingers crossed.
Down at the bottom, pretty close again. Bottom is Jonas with 28, and he's now relegated. Just above him, Alistair Griffin, 39. Mark Morris, 42. Graham Swan, 42. Rich Lay, 43. Dave Atkins, 43. Joe Derrick, 44. So it's very tight at the bottom.
It is.
A win here and there will sort that out. League One, where Ben resides. Low scores again. Only people in the 50s here. 56 for Nathan Clark. Beat Chesney Hawks, his relegation rival, who got 39. Chesney not quite relegated, but probably next week. And Craig Wilson got a 50 to beat Frankie, also down at the bottom there. Anton Witter beat league leader and now promoted Jamie Hurst, 44-43. So Jamie's not quite got the league title there yet. Tim Bresnan got a vital win at the bottom, and there was a very rare win for you, Ben.
Didn't even notice.
Well done,
Didn't
Ben.
even notice.
Celebrate.
Who did I beat? Who did I beat?
I don't know.
Loser.
We'll check on that. But yeah, you beat somebody. League table wise, Jamie Hurst is top 75, then is Rich Pipes 67, then Alex Renton 61, Lee Nicholson 60, Stu Kelly 58, Anton Witter 57, and then just outside the playoffs, Mike Bushell and Ben Hope on 56 and 55. Down at the bottom, Craig Wilson has 46, Gareth Youngs has 45, Frankie Francis has 45, then the relegation teams a point behind, Tim Bresnan 44, Nathan Clark 43, Frankie and Nath play each other, and that's their big rival game. They've mentioned when they've been on the pod, they look out for playing each other.
Yeah.
Now it's a big relegation fight. Chesney's got 37, and realistically would need to win all 3 games now and hope that nobody else gets a win above him. So Chesney's probably going to join Ben, who has got 33 points and is relegated already. Well done, Ben.
Well done.
I am the one and only.
You are.
Well, there'll be 2 of you next week.
Well, I just thought, that'd be shit.
Yeah,
joke,
we got the
really,
link.
isn't it?
We got the link. Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see if you're the one and only when we come to the quiz.
It's one
as
way
well.
I've tried to avoid badly.
It's a belt of that.
Conference League, 64 points for Chris Murray, which is a surprise one because Chris doesn't win very often.
No.
He beat Adam Constive. Rob Lally got a 62 to beat a faltering Vicky Sparks, 38. Ben Halliwell beat promotion rival Grace Maloney, 57-48. And in another top clash, Sophie Ridge beat Natalie Pike, 46-28. League table there. Pete Martini not quite promoted yet. He's got 76. Ben Halliwell with 70. Sophie Ridge, 69. Natalie Pike, 68. Neil Robertson, 67. Joe Singleton, 66. Then a bit of a gap. And it's Grace with 62 and Vicky Sparks just behind her on 59. Look like they're battling for the last playoff place there. And it's also the Cup. So it's now down to the quarterfinals where Tom Bird will play Alistair Bruce Ball. Chris Dawkes will play Anton Witter, who knocked his brother Rick Witter out of the Cup
Yeah, the Witter Derby.
this week. Anton messaged to say that was men against boys, and he put him in his place. And Tom Roberts, the holder of the cup, is playing Tom Gregory in the quarterfinal, and Ben Halliwell plays Grace Maloney, who is just beating the league this week.
Very good. Good stuff.
That's
So we talked about the new feature Hot Picks last week, didn't we? Well, this week I'm going into the FPL app as well to nick one of their lines, so we can talk about that. But should managers buy Kevin Bruyne in the last couple of weeks, is what they're saying. And basically, apparently he's absolutely flying. Obviously had a good point haul against Wolves, but because Man City are playing Southampton this coming weekend, and they also say that they host Bournemouth and then visit Fulham on the last day of the season, that surely De Bruyne is worth a punt for the last 3 games. What do we think? Has anyone had him in their team this season, got rid of him, got him back, or?
I probably had him on the bench.
Yeah. Well, he's not done a lot, has he, this season? But it seems like he got a point to prove last couple of games, his last few games in his City shirt, perhaps.
Yeah, but is it game over for him?
Well,
Maybe-
he did
Maybe
well against
Foden,
Wolves, didn't he?
Foden might come good. None at Man City plays a good picks now. Haaland's supposed to be back anyway, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Marmoush has been rubbish since I triple captained him. He's been garbage, so I'm going to get rid of him this weekend. Yeah, he's not.
So everybody else bring him in then. One of those.
That's normally the way it works. But yes, De Bruyne looks like apparently over 173,000 people have transferred him in already on this game week, and we know a lot of transfers happen at the end of the week. So that could be you've got transfers to play with. Ben, you'll have 5 transfers because this season you accumulate transfers. So you could have a total. I know you said it's a bit like the Titanic, but hey, you could go for it. Last 3 games.
Listen, if I could drag someone else down with me, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you could go for manager of the month. How about this? 3 games to go. If you amass mega points, get your ass
Now we're
man in
talking.
there.
That could be
we're
a trophy for the season. Yeah, prize.
Exactly. Something to play
Will it get
for.
sent out? Is it something I can put on the mantelpiece?
It's very good. Steve can tell you exactly what it is.
Oh no, yeah. For a manager of the month, you get rum. Actually,
Rum.
you get loads of Wizard Cola and some rum and various other.
You're talking to someone who's been in recovery for 3 years, mate.
Oh,
Brilliant.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of it's cola. The rest of it's cola.
You get some sweets as well. I've still got
Yeah,
mine.
yeah. I used to have sweets, ecstasy.
Have you won one, Chris? Did you win one? Chris will tell you.
You keep your cola, mate, and you keep your rum as well, and I'll stick to me being bottom of the league.
Yeah, we need a non-alcoholic version, don't we? So let's move on then. We always ask everyone on the pod to do their homework about our guest. So we'll have some homework questions for yourself very shortly. But first of all, I ask everybody who comes on the pod, why do you support the team you do? So why do you support Fulham?
Yeah, easy. That's easy, mate. It was the first team my dad ever took me to, and we played Sunderland. It was either Sunderland or Southampton. I know it was one of them, right? And we actually lost. We lost, mate. And I remember something about it. For me, it weren't about the actual result. It was about being there with my dad and experiencing football for the first time. I was about 8 or 9, and I was hooked on it. What probably played a part as well is the fact after the game we went in the club shop and I absolutely rinsed it and took a load of bags home with a load of Fulham stuff. So that might have had something to do with it as well. But I was hooked on it, you know. And this is the weird thing, right? A lot of them players, I remember we had like Barry Ailes, Neil Smith, Mike Taylor, trying to think, Sean Davis, Rufus Brevet, you know, all them players, right? Later on in life, I ended up making a friendship with them, which is absolutely incredible because Rufus Brevet come to my Brighton show the other week, and I always, you know, have a laugh with him and that. I was like, I can't believe this. I had a poster of you in my room when I was about 10 or 11, and his missus was there, and I was like, and now he's got a poster of me in his room at his age. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is
He
close.
probably has actually.
Yeah, no. Why wouldn't he?
They are available.
Yes. Well, one of my questions I was going to have: have you got a tour coming up? Do you want to promote that?
Yes,
tour?
yes. Well, we were going to have a tour this week actually, but there's a few issues. Like one of them being a few of the tricks and the props that I needed couldn't get them out just in time. So we've put it on the back burner, postponing it until the second, maybe 2 or 3 months time, maybe 2 or 3. But it's going to be worth the wait because in the meantime, since then I've been working on newer tricks. Now I will never change too much of the act because it's different to like doing a set list than it is a Magic set list. Because if I change too much, I'll forget everything that I'm doing. So there's a few tricks that were needed to make this show just a little bit more better. Not in terms of, I mean, everyone who's come to my show all loves it. You know, it's nothing to do with the show itself. It's just something that I wanted to add something to make it a little bit more special, not better, special. So I've worked out how it could work, and now it's all the puzzles, all the pieces of the puzzle, sorry, are all fitting in the right holes now. So I'm looking forward to it very much.
Intrigued. Intrigued. So, are there any dates you want to call out, or has that been decided? Are you rearranging it, and will it be?
It's been decided at the moment. Yeah. In the meantime, I've got a few things in. I've got a festival doing with I think Manic Street Preachers, Andy Water on it, Travis, Franz Ferdinand's on it, and it's mental, like seeing your own name, like with all them acts as well.
Sounds
Which
amazing.
again is oh, it is, mate, it is. I can't remember dates off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. I should have had my diary in front of me, but yeah, so my birthday's the 29th of July. If anyone wants to send me anything other than a wooden spoon and some rum.
Send you some sweets on the 29th of July. Is what we'll
Yes,
do.
yes.
Very good, very good. But what's your website then for people to follow you? Then on socials, what should people use?
www.themagicmod.com, and then on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, it's Taylor Mod. Instagram, The Magic Mod. Facebook, Bonnie Blue.
Brilliant. I can tell. I think Steve might use that again on the quiz. I'm not sure. We'll move on though.
I don't know why. Like, I'm not even obsessed, but what it is, right? I just saw something on Twitter the other day, right? And I don't know if it's true or not, right? But apparently she's doing a tour, right? I'm not. Has anyone else seen this?
I haven't.
Someone has definitely seen it, and they're keeping quiet because the missus is in the room, 100%. But I can't be real. How, like, what annoys me, right, is without going too much down the rabbit hole and people thinking, fuck me, why did we have this geezer on as a guest? It's like you got people out there who are
I don't think we should call it a
talented.
rabbit hole.
It's more like Dartford Tunnel, to be honest, mate. It's you've got people. Yes, I don't know. I definitely don't know. You've got
Chris is
people who are
wondering
so
what's happening
talented.
here, by the way.
Yeah, Chris, if you welcome, get to that point, mate. I'll be your host for the evening. I'll be the host. But it's like, I just don't understand how that sort of can make so much money. Like I just can't understand it. It fries my brain. But when I saw she was doing a tour, I was thinking this has got to be a wind up in it. Do you know what I mean?
You know her tour dates though, Ben?
I know she's playing Belfast in July, actually. So
29. Oh dear. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Let's move on quickly. I always ask highs and lows of supporting your football team. For you, what's your personal high and personal low following Fulham?
high is when we got promoted as champions. With Mitrovic scored the record goal, the most goals anyone's ever scored in a single season. He scored it with the last kick of the game. I remember running on the pitch and cutting out a bit of the like the centre circle. And I remember some geezer going, "What are you doing? We got a youth cup game next week against Chelsea." And I was like, "Do you want me to put this back or what?" But I didn't. I've still got it in my room, preserved, lovely, with a picture of Mitrovic in the back. Lowest point. I mean, it's probably going to be this season, and it's Crystal Palace. No, but I can't say that. But Crystal Palace in the quarter final, we should have beaten them to go through to the semi final. That's a low point. But I remember us get relegated when we had Claudio Ranieri was in charge, and that season we were shambolic, absolutely shambolic. And I remember going to Watford on a midweek, and I think they beat us about 4-5-0, and we were relegated. But there are some more. I mean, of course, like getting beat by Oldham in the FA Cup at the Cottage 3-0 and 2-3-0, something like that. And then Sheffield United beat us once, and in like it was in the FA Cup again, went all the way through to extra time, and just before like it went in to go to penalties, they scored a winner, and it was but that's the beauty of supporting a football team like Fulham. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, your homework questions are on the way. But yes, good Friday morning to you, Chris. How are you doing? I've not seen you for a bit.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just
Good to see you. Has anyone got a really good homework question while we've got Ben before he disappears?
I always do my homework, don't I? But
Yeah, let's go.
I was brought up on Paul Daniels and Tommy Cooper, and Tommy Cooper's one of my favourites ever. and you remind me quite a bit of him, to be honest with you, because you kind of a little bit
lovely.
goofy, and you almost come across as like you're messing up when actually you're not, and that's almost like a mental sleight of hand to me. But has there ever been a time where you've really cocked up, and how do you recover from something like that?
First of all, thank you very much. That's a lovely thing to say. You know, it still baffles me when people sort of put me in the same category as Tommy Cooper. Not to overdo that question, but on Friday's show, a bloke actually come up to me after, and I did the bottle trick, and he said that that's one of the best bottle routines he's ever seen. And I said, have you ever seen anyone do a bottle routine other than me? And he said, well, I've actually seen, like, he saw Tommy Cooper do it live, and he said, the way you just did it was absolutely unbelievable. And when people are saying that to me, yeah, honestly, I had to, it's on my Instagram, so I had to film the bloke saying it. So I thought, this ain't happening, do it again. But honestly, it was mental. But has it ever gone wrong? I'd be a liar if I said it hasn't, because sometimes in my head, I'm going to try a new trick that I've never done before. And I tried a trick out in Spain, which I've practiced and practiced. And for some reason, it didn't work out the way I wanted to. So the way I got it was, I don't know if you ever seen, there's a little bit of a sketch that Tommy Cooper does when he picks a leaf off a tree and he says, he goes, you know, I'd love to keep this leaf and plant it. And he gets to the punchline. So what I said was, halfway through this trick, when I knew it went wrong, they didn't have a clue it went wrong. And I said, you know what? I really hope this is worth it. I really hope I get a thunderous round of applause. I thought to myself earlier in the dressing room, I thought, this trick is going to get me a lot of love. This is going to take me to the next level. This is going to be brilliant. People are going to be talking about this trick for the rest of their lives. And on the other hand, I just can't be bothered to do it. And I moved on and did another one, right? And they pissed themselves because I did 2 minutes of this trick already, right? They didn't know. They didn't know it went wrong. And to be honest with you, I probably could have got out of it because I knew how to get out of it. But where I was, I just thought it would be a lot funnier if I did this. And it just got a great reception.
That's
And
brilliant.
then, do you know what, right? I took the trick out and practiced it in the dressing room after, and it worked. I'm like, should have just done it. But sometimes, if you're going to get a better laugh than you would have reacted, it's always worth it in this industry.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you.
Great stuff. And I was just going to ask you quickly on your Magic Mod Mondays, how do you get kind of something to do every single week? Like, just keep coming up with the goods.
Yeah, I'll be a liar if I say I haven't repeated a couple of tricks but changed them, because there's only, I mean, I know I've been doing it for 5, 6, I think this might be the 6th year.
Yeah, it's been going for a while.
And I haven't missed a Monday. In fact, I think I've missed one Monday. And the reason that was, I think I was doing a show, and then I thought, I'm not really going to do it on a Tuesday. They just have to wait for next Monday. It'd be worth it. But then what I've done is do miss a Monday, like last week in Spain, because all the electricity went out on the Monday. There was nothing, mate. Like, we didn't have electricity until like 12 o'clock the next afternoon. So I posted it on Tuesday. But you've always got to keep yourself on your toes, and you've got to get people keeping them on their toes. And I tell you what, if I went back and tried to find the first ever trick I did for Magic Mod Monday, if I was to look at it now and perform it now, I reckon it'd be totally different.
Okay.
It'd probably take me a while to try and find it, to be honest with you. But maybe I will one day if I get bored, because I wouldn't mind knowing what the first trick was that I ever did on social media. But
they were brilliant during COVID, though, Ben. They were like
masterful. Bless you,
they kept loads of us going. Like we were sharing them amongst our family, saying, "Oh, come on, watch this one." And you know, when you're watching a magician, you're always going, you're going to see what he's doing, because you know kind of sleight of hand, and you're always going, "Oh yeah, he's going to do this," and then you always flipped it, you always turned it, you go, "Like, you bastard!"
Appreciate that.
I can't believe you've done that.
That's really kind to say. If anyone else has got any comments, by the way, feel free to say them. But no, that's really That is really kind, because that was a mad time for everyone, and I remember especially myself as a performer, because I sort of quit everything I was doing the year before COVID, and started doing the Magic full time, and I had a run of dates that I believed would have really set it off even bigger than it already was. And listen, the way I look at it is everyone was in the same boat. There's a lot of people who I thought were very selfish during it. Some performers are moaning about, oh, you know, I can't put dinner on the table. I'm not performing. I'm not doing this. Listen, everyone was in the same boat. So what I think one time I remember, I think I did a live show, and I think I tried to do it on Instagram, and then it didn't work, so I had to do it on Twitter, or it was the other way around. But I had so much fun, because I knew, similar to what you just said, mate, it was, and lovely it was. It was a lot of people wanted something to give them a little bit of a laugh in that, and if like me doing a trick that takes 5 minutes to film and practice, practice it and then film it, if that gives them enjoyment, you know, for a minute trick, then I'm the happiest man in the world, because that's priceless to me. When everyone, as I say, it was such a dark moment. No one knew where we were going. No one. And I've had a lot of people saying that during COVID, my tricks, I sort of helped them, and even inspired them to pick up a deck of cards and a magic book. And to hear stuff like that is, you just don't realize how much, I wouldn't say much of an impact, but sort of how much magic can, like, give people something to enjoy, I suppose. So, but again, thank you very much for that compliment. That was lovely. Can I have it in writing?
You can film it again for your Insta.
I
Tell you
ask
what, thanks for, you know.
a quick question to Ben. It's something I know the answer to, but it's the red suit jacket from Pete Doherty.
Yeah.
Tell us the story, man.
When you said you were going to give me a question, but you already know the answer, I was thinking this was some sort of trick you were going to do, like some Darren Brown shit or something like that, man. I'm a bit worried.
I'm not that intelligent, man.
No, you are, mate. I'm sure you are. So how did that happen? So yes, on tour with the Libertines, and I'll give you the short version. I had a pretty green trench coat on, which I only had for 2 weeks, and it was beautiful. And I remember having it on the tour, and Pete said he loved that jacket, and I was like, right, brilliant. And he said, no, I really love that jacket. I'm like, again, thanks. He's like, no, I need it. Bollocks. Right. So he took me to his dressing room, and he had a Parker, an M65 Parker, but I already had that. He had a yellow, like, Adidas smock, or it was something, it might have been a preparing jacket or something. I thought, nah. Then I saw the military jackets, and I thought, yes. And I remember when I first took it out, his manager was there, and they went, not a chance, not a chance at all. And I went, all right. And when his manager left, he gave it to me and said, just don't say anything. I'll just get another one. And I remember on the tour bus, sorry, in the dressing room, I quickly got everyone to sign it, because if it's got two Ben Love from Gary, Carl, John and Pete, no one's going to take that off me then, are they?
Yeah.
So I've still got that, and that's like one of my most treasured possessions. I'll be honest, I forgot I had it.
I love that. I love the fact that he just went, right, forget about that. Just have it.
Yeah, he did. But that's the sort of guy. What Pete is, mate. He's a gentleman. He always puts himself first, and the stuff he's done for not just me, but for other bands to help people, it just shows what a kind soul he is. And what really annoys me is, I've always said this. A lot of people still remember him for his dark days, and I would put him up there with your Lennons, your McCartneys, your Wellers, your Gallaghers. He's one of the best songwriters this generation. In fact, he's one of the best songwriters out there, and he's still bringing out fantastic songs. But because of his past has been tarnished by drinking drugs all the time, that's what a lot of people remember him by, and a lot of people used to like to see him sort of self-destruct on the stage. Personally, I hated it, because I built up a good relationship with the guy, and I hated seeing someone I cared about sort of spiral out of control. And when I saw him recently in Belfast in November, he's changed everything around, and it's only just going to get better and better for him. And I was so glad to see that as well.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, man.
You're more than welcome, man.
Good stuff. How long have you got left, Ben? Have you got time to do the quiz with you, or do you need to head
How long
off?
is the quiz? No, go on. Do you want to help me with a quiz? Yeah? All right, let me turn my headphones off and we'll do it together. Ready? Let me hang on 2 seconds left.
No worries.
Barcelona 2-0 now.
Yeah, 2-2 it is.
2-0.
Right.
They're
Exciting.
doing their own little magic trick. 3-0 down.
You ready? Right. We'll give it a go, but you know what they always say, don't work with children and animals. So
Or minions.
so we'll see where this goes. If at any point, I mean, look, he's got his Nerf gun. So
It's not going to end well.
his mum got hit in the eye the other day, right? And it was by me. I'm not going to lie, I actually did it, but it was one of them things where me and him were messing about on the floor, and I thought it was for her birthday as well. Actually, we went in the town, and she was running up the stairs, and I was like, "Watch this! This will be brilliant, right?" But she stopped and then started laughing because she thought I already shot the bullet. And then as she's run up, I've pinged it, and it's caught her right in the side of the eye. But I did what any responsible adult would do. I passed the gun to Lonnie and said it was him.
Yeah, fair play, man.
Right, here we go. So we basically, this is what we call Sing When You're Winning Superfan. So each week we test our guests' footballing knowledge and see how many questions they can get correct in 90 seconds.
Hey there, Ben. He's magically disappeared.
Yes. I think his battery might have gone. Oh, he's been told he has to go for his tea. I think it's possibly the latter. I think
No penalty. No penalty.
been happening. I think he's been
That's
getting
well
the look
outside the
for the
area.
last 45 minutes as to go and have his tea. So that might be what was happening there. So we're going to play Sing When You're Winning Superfan. Thanks to the fact that our brilliant guest Ben seems to have disappeared, the ultimate disappearing act, and he has left the show this week. But it was good to have him on. But in his place, Chris has joined us this week as well. And he's going to take on Sing When You're Winning Superfan. So as we do each week, we test footballing knowledge and see how many questions you can get correct in 90 seconds. So Chris, you know the format well. Do you think you can get the Magnificent Seven and tie with someone like Jim at the top?
No.
Feeling
I think be
confident?
happy with a 4.
Oh, happy with a 4.
Oh,
That's good.
four, pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good. People have been getting 2s a lot lately.
Okay.
But yes, we'll see what ChatGPT throws up. And as usual, if everyone can shout, if there's a blatantly, obviously bad question or a wrong question, shout out and we can stop the clock. Steve will do the timer, and after 90 seconds, he will shout out something appropriate to this week's episode, which I'm guessing I might know what that might be, or he might throw me. Who wants to wave their fingers in the air this Friday morning and do the scoring?
I don't mind fingering for Chris.
Okay, Lee is going to use his hands, is what I'm going to say there. And Steve, you're right to shake your head in disgust.
Good luck with the edit. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Well, I mean, do you know what? We'll just throw it all in. I think it's got
To
an
be
E on
fair,
it
though,
anyway.
Jamie, you started it with a question at the beginning. You know, it went downhill from there. So you know, what do you
My
expect?
party trick was not rude, but there you go.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Well, maybe it was the naivety. Anyway, let's ask some questions. We've got 90 seconds. Are you ready, Chris?
Yes.
Brilliant. Right, the time will start when I ask the first question. So, which African team reached the semi-finals of the World Cup for the first time in 2022?
Cameroon. No.
Morocco. Is that right?
Morocco.
Which country did Zinedine Zidane headbutt a player against in the 2006 final?
Italy.
It was. Who scored the winning penalty in the 2012 Champions League final for Chelsea?
Oh God. Drogba.
It was Drogba. Who won the Champions League in 2020?
Real Madrid.
It was Bayern Munich, apparently. Who was the first goalkeeper to score in the Premier League?
Steve Grizovic.
It was Peter Schmeichel. I think we've had that recently. Who won the player of the tournament at the Euro 2012 tournament?
No idea.
Iniesta, that's a stinker. Which country or countries have lost the most Euro finals since 1996? There's two. Any one of them.
Croatia.
Germany and France, apparently. Which club did Lionel Messi join after leaving Barcelona in 2021?
PSG.
Say yes, Paul.
It was PSG. Say yes, Paul. Very good. I'm going to ask you one more because I thought there was some stinkers in there.
There was a couple.
Deliberate on one. So one more. We've got, I think, what's the score you've got at the moment, Lee?
3.
3. Yeah, you said you wanted 4. So let's put pressure on. See if you can get 4. Right.
What's your surname?
There's 1 to 75. Jersey Chris, pick a number, and that can be the question that I ask.
56.
56. Right. Okay. It is. Who was FIFA World Player of the Year in 2001?
2001.
Yes.
Rivaldo.
It was Luis Figo, apparently.
I would have said Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo.
Fat Ronaldo.
Yeah, Fat Ronaldo.
I quite like that. I might just pick 100 questions next week on ChatGPT, and people can pick
a number.
Because sometimes they're really easy and sometimes they're really hard. So that
I'll do an extra 30 seconds.
Might be the way, yeah.
That might be a better way of doing it because some of the questions are just random. But yes, I think you scored 3.
3. So who I beat?
You've gone level on points. Well, you've beaten Rick, he got 2. Lee got 2. Becky Bass was on last week, got 2. Michelle Gale got 2. Dan got 2. There's loads of people on 2.
Okay, so
I think you're in
3. I'm happy with you then.
Yeah. Three's good. 3's good. Shall we have an update on Bletchley Scott because it was their final game of the season last weekend, believe it or not. So yes, they've hung up their boots for the season, but how do we think they got on in their last game of the season? They were playing Stukely, if you remember. I told you that last week, who were a bit higher than them in the league. But last game of the season, how do we think they got on?
I think they won.
Okay.
I think they won. I
3-1.
I think they lost 2-0.
Well, they drew earlier in the season against Stukely 2-2. But they lost 3-2.
That's a close game.
Well, I think that's not
game.
a bad thing. And league table wise, Bletchley Scott ended the season in 8th. They played 18, they won 3, they drew 4 and lost 11. But I think it was quite a challenging league. The people at the top were winning lots of games. So they must have been alongside. But yeah, 8th I think is pretty respectable.
Out of how many teams?
Out of 11 teams. So it's not bad. Let's give them a round of applause for
well done, Bletchley.
Well done, Bletchley.
Good season, lads. Onwards and upwards.
Come back next season and
go again. Go
let's
again.
see with Carl, will we have new strips for next season? Will we have to get
different colour?
Maybe they need to play in white. They need to play in white, maybe.
Yeah, I think they need to change it. I mean, I love the top and all, but I would change the colour. If you're watching, Carl. We can see. But yes, so that was Bletchley Scott, and normally we would finish this pod. Although it's been a very interesting pod, I think it's fair to say, we'd normally finish it by doing shooting stars in their eyes. Anyone fancy playing that? Or anyone can do an impression of a famous footballer, or shall we call it a day? Should we wrap it up? Let's call it a day. Yeah, the enthusiasm is waning.
Chris could be any Scottish footballer you want.
Yeah, Chris, pick a Scottish footballer.
Alan McCoy.
Duncan Ferguson's popular at the minute, isn't he? Big Dunk.
I saw him doing an interview the other day. He was very he was far more articulate than I remember
brilliant.
in his playing games.
Absolutely
Playing days.
brilliant. I can't wait to read his book, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be fascinating. Really honest insight into kind of how he is and how he was and why he didn't play so many games for Scotland. Sounds...
Yeah, I seen that on Sky Sports today.
He was such a monster of a player.
What would he be worth nowadays?
I mean, yeah, but he was kind of a
ban.
Carroll style player, dominating. I mean, yeah, he was knockout. He was knockout. Just had the temper on him.
I'll be honest, Chris, your sound is not sounding great right now. I can hear every other word that you say. So we might, rather than persevere, we might just wrap it up. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us on this interesting episode. Magic Mod has disappeared and left the building, but it was a great guest. I'm sure you'll all agree. Thank you to you, Steve, to you, Lee, to Jersey Chris, to Chris. And I like that you just get Chris. Now we've got Jersey Chris. We might have to think about giving you an additional word added onto that, Chris. But yes, you can follow us on Scottish Chris. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
it makes sense.
Is Chris Scottish? Is he Scottish?
Never.
Yeah.
But yes, Chris, we've not mentioned Liverpool winning the league as well because we're not.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Does it still feel as good as ever?
19 and a half.
I'd shut your arse.
And very quickly on Trent, what do you think about Trent? Are you sad to see him go? Do you hate him? Is he? Or are you happy that he's going? Good luck to him.
I'm happy that he's going. I don't hate him. Good. I don't feel like he deserves the abuse that he's getting. I do wish that he had left last season, so that we could get a transfer fee, but. I'm not too concerned. I think he's a wonderful player, and I think he'll probably come back.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he will. And it was nice to see that Chris has done an impression at the end of the show. Norman Collier there, ladies and gentlemen.
Max Headroom.
You kids
yes, Max Headroom meets Norman Collier. It's very good. It's very good. But remember, you can follow us on Twitter at SWYW _FPL. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave us a comment. We've only got a couple more episodes left. I know you'll all be sad when we hit the summer. And
probably
again,
as well if they're like that.
Yes. But thanks to Ben, if you are watching this Friday morning, good luck with the rest of the season. You can make manager of the month if you use your chips last 3 games. But we will see you next week when we'll be joined by another top guest. But enjoy your footballing week. Keep on singing and keep on winning. Goodbye.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.